Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Christmas is over, and I hope that you getting back to work or taking the rest of the week off is going well and you're finding peace in your situation, whatever it may be. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I've been receiving a boatload of questions about, and people are kind of freaked out by things that are going on in their lives and happenings and feelings that they're feeling and energy that they're not used to feeling, and all this change is happening internally that they can't really wrap their minds around because it's so new to them and everything. And so I kind of wanted to touch base with that and just give a brief rundown of what may be going on with you if you're starting to have certain feelings or starting to really question everything, and you're really coming into your own space as far as what you believe and what you have knowledge of and the knowledge that you seek. So first and foremost, usually when I'm talking to people, or even when I started to really start to dive deep within my soul and discover who I am, I would talk to people that had more information than me or had a deep soul connection that I didn't have. And then when they would start to tell me things about soul being or happenings or just whatever information they had to bring to the table to me, there was such a thing, and there is such a thing as information overload. And you can call it whatever you want. That's what I call it, because when you get that information overload where you start to have your prior beliefs broken, it triggers some really intense negative feelings within your body. The ones that I experience the most, usually when I get information overload about greater, that really resonates with me, is I get super sick to my stomach and nauseated. And what I've come to find out is that is what that is your old conditioned mind, your conditioned programming being broken by this new wave of information that stirs up that stagnation, not because it's just new information, but it hits a part of your being at a soul level where it starts to shake up all those blockages of energy flow within your body that you have been closed off to. And to be quite frank, you aren't even aware of really before you start to study how the physical body works with the soul and having balance and whatnot. So that information overload made me so sick to my stomach. Like, oh, hold on, damn. I love what you're telling me and it's resonating with me, but holy shit. I feel like I'm going to puke. My ears are ringing. Oh, whatever your symptoms may be. And I find it most common that the symptoms that come about are the most frequently felt symptoms are the ears ringing and the stomach ache, because you are purging, you are on the brink of purging or shedding your old skin. So therefore, you as a physical body start to try to get rid of that the way the body knows how. So therein comes the purging and the shedding of the old belief system, if you will. And when that happens, it's super scary at first, especially if you're not conscious of what's going on. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so sick. But I encourage you to get that out, to purge that, to get sick if you have to. Don't fight that, because what you're doing is you're releasing old energy that no longer serves you. And though it may be scary at the time, what lies on the other side is absolutely beautiful, because when you get to those moments of information overload, of queasiness, of ears ringing, or whatever it is, you are about to level up in your soul knowledge and your place within your soul being. You are getting that much closer to your soul essence and not just the programmed mindset that we have in this society that has created normal. I hate the word normal because there's no such thing. When no two realities are the same, you can't define normal. So that word is pure ignorant and pure programming of society. And I talk about the sickness coming up, and people talk to me. They're like, man, it feels so good and it's so beautiful to have these feelings and know what's on the other side. But you know how scary that is to realize that you have that much power and to realize that you really can create. I mean, just sit and think of that for a moment, that you really can create exact life that you want to experience. But it takes work, it takes discipline, it takes day in and day out of doing the things that raise your vibrations. And not only that, but when you do get off course, being mindful of, oh shit, that's not my soul, that's my ego. I need to check back in with my soul and see how that sits with me. So yeah, it is scary. It's scary beautiful, because when you start to realize that you can move energy and that you can create everything that's going on in the external world, and you can create that within yourself, that is scary beautiful. And damn, damn, that is power, and that is trust from the divine. And it is not power in the sense of ego. And I know some of you may hear this and say, "Oh, power, yeah, hell yeah, that's exactly what I want." But the divine must have trust in you with that power, and you've got to use it for pure intention and love of all, not just self, not just to get you ahead of the next person. That's where the ego comes in, and that's where the toxic power that has created the society we live in now comes in. So it's power in the sense of pure trust of everything and all of consciousness in God. Because when, like I've said in many of my videos, when you completely surrender and trust God, that is when you will have the most control. One thing that I struggled with was my control issues, and not until I really connected with my soul being and my soul mission did I really understand what control meant. I lived out of control of my ego. I worked hard and busted my ass to have control. And that was part of my anger issues, is because when I busted my ass and I didn't have control, oh, my ego was pissed. I worked hard. I deserve power. I deserve praise. I deserve whatever the ego craves off of. And the ego serves a purpose here on this physical world, in this physical world, but it is just for this physical world. It serves you in no divine manner. So the power I speak of is just trusting and surrendering, and then you create. So don't be scared by the overwhelming feeling of information overload or nausea or headaches or ears ringing. Keep doing the little things that you do to push yourself towards a higher vibration, and use those negative feelings to remind you that why it's so important to be disciplined in your spiritual studies and practices. Because if you get scared and you revert back to ego because you don't want to go through the symptoms of awakening DNA strains that have laid dormant for years, and activating your DNA to vibrate at a higher level, it's much like relapsing for drug addicts. You get to that point where you're nauseated and you're sick and you're like, fuck, I can't do this. So you go back. And I assure you, that's not going to get you a higher vibration to be scared of that. The duality of man and the soul has created not the soul, I'm sorry, the duality of man and the ego has created this negative feeling, this fear that man feels. Because when we come to earth, it is our purpose to experience everything, everything that a soul can experience, and therefore you are supposed to experience negativity and darkness and whatever it may be. But with that being said, you experience it, you take the lessons, and you move forward, not take the lessons, feel the negative, oh shit, this sucks, let me run back to what I think is the positive. So don't be leery of the symptoms. They don't last forever. Purge the old self, shed the skin, and keep pushing forward, because what awaits us at the illusion of death is just bliss. And you can experience that in the physical manifestation if you balance the ego, which does serve humans, and the soul. So, as a Libra, I'm here to remind you on this physical earth, don't get too far in the spiritual realm, because you'll feel lost, and you'll feel lonely, and you'll feel homesick. I've heard people say they're homesick because they feel like this physical world manifestation does not serve them, and they don't have any human connections, and they only connect with themselves. And it can be lonely when you just want to speak on high vibrational stuff and soul beings and aliens and all the weird shit that people like to talk about. When there's not a lot of people around you to talk about that stuff, it does get very lonely. But that's where you, as a human, bring your ego back into the picture and start to find that balance, so you can live happily as a human being that is walking on this earth, and not just somebody that's stuck in the spiritual world. So as a Libra, I'm here to remind everybody that balance is crucial in this manifestation, and that don't get too far into the spiritual realm where you don't have a physical world foundation, because you'll find that you are just as lost as the people living from the ego. So this place we call Earth is meant to experience all with balance, and experience all of duality that is here to teach our souls. So I love you guys. This is a little random, a little off the wall. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Ate a bunch of nasty food for the holidays, so my physical body has not peaked, but I am at the gym now, and I'm about to go inside and start to work out some of the toxins that I fed into my body, and really open the channels back up for some more knowledge and some more information for you guys. So I love you guys. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, and I will see you tomorrow.